Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Danny and this is Project Fern. So we're back in the red Berlingo today and we've got a bit of a strange problem with it. What's happening is when I'm driving, when I get below 30 mile an hour and I'm braking, the ABS is kicking in. So it's not like kicking in as if you were heavy braking, you've slammed on, it's like dun 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 dun. It's basically like I can feel it going dun 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 under the pedal. It's not stopping from braking, it's almost releasing the brake as ABS should do because it thinks the wheel's locking up. I have replaced in the past the driver's side ABS sensor, but that actually put the ABS light on. The thing is, what's strange about this is there's no ABS light on. Even when the ABS is clearly kicking in under my foot, I can feel it moving the pedal, it's like vibrating. There's no ABS light on this car. It's getting to the point where it's actually undrivable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch the camera around, we're going to go up and down the road, hopefully the camera can pick up the noise and stuff like that. Just give you an idea of what's happening. It's very strange, always under 30 mile an hour, you're touching the brake and you can hear it go like didn't, 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 didn't. I won't say it's massively dangerous, but there's something clearly wrong with the car. So first thing, let's show you what it's actually doing and then we'll go from there. So you could just about hear the ABS pump kicking in then. So what I'm going to do is I bought one of these the other week. It's like a code reader, it does every single car. I think they're about 250 quid, but it's probably the best thing that I've ever bought. Does ABS, airbags, the lot. So I'm going to plug this in now, and I think on these you can do like an ABS scan, you can monitor it. So I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to go up to the car park up the road and just see if there's any of the sensors that are giving false readings, because that ABS will only be kicking in if it thinks the wheel's locked up. It's so strange this, because I thought if an ABS sensor had gone it would put the light on, but if it's just an intermittent problem, it could just be some dirt on a sensor. But it's best to try and find out which sensor it is first. So let's get this hooked up, let's get on the car park. I'll try and set the camera up and see if you can see what I can see. It's hard, I've not got the correct mount for it, so you just have to bear with me while I do this. I might end up holding my phone, but we'll get this plugged in and let's see which sensors are doing what. Right, so sorry for the dodgy camera angle here. I hope it works as we're driving. I'm just going to tilt that up a little bit more so you can see it. I've got the data ready here to start looking at what speed we're doing on the wheel sensors. I'm just looking for anything really. They should all be about the same, give or take a little bit. I want to see one jumping or one giving a false reading, and hopefully that'll then point us in the right direction. I've just scanned for codes as well, and it's brought no fault codes up for this car, none on the ABS system or anything like that. It's just very strange this. I'm hoping it maybe just be a bit of dirt on a sensor, could be a bit of metal on one, or maybe a worn ring on one of the CV joints, I'm not sure. But let's get this car started up now and have a little bit of a drive around and see if you can see what I can. Just ignore that bleeping, that's only because I'm in the ABS system. So I'm not seeing any major difference there. If anything, I think the left-hand wheel sensor was a bit higher than the others. I'm just hoping I can find something a little bit. There you go. I hope you saw that on the screen then. The left-hand wheel sensor dropped to about 1 km/h. That will tell the ABS system that there's something wrong with that wheel, that it might be locking up with the speed that's changed. So let's try and get it to do that again. I don't think you can drive too fast while you're in this diagnostic mode. I think it's to stop you driving on the road while you're looking at a screen. but hopefully you saw that one drop then. But we'll just do another up and down, and then we'll have a look at that sensor. There you go, it just dropped down to 2 kilometers per hour. As you saw then on the diagnostic machine, we had 2 false readings on the left hand, which is the near side front sensor. So I'm going to go and get the jack, I'm going to get it whipped out, and we're going to have a look and see if there's any damage to it or anything like that. I have got a sensor, a spare sensor for these, so I can fix it today if it is going to be a sensor. Hopefully it's just a bit of dirt on it or something like that. Sensors have dropped a lot. I've got a genuine, not a genuine one, but a Bosch one, which is one of the best ones you can get. They're like £13 or something. So let's get this car jacked up, get that wheel off, and have a see what's going on down there. Just show you what's going on here. So this is the ABS sensor. As it runs down, it's just hidden behind this plastic cover here. It's a 10mm that keeps the cover on, and then I think there's another 10mm underneath it, but usually these just come out all together with the stud. But I'll get that whipped out now. And that's what I mean about it all coming out as one. The stud's still in there for the ABS sensor, but let's get it whipped out and see what it looks like. Can you see on the end here? I think that is what is going to have been causing our issue. So I'm going to clean up all around here with a little wire brush, get rid of anything that could be causing stuff to stick to the end of this sensor, and I think hopefully that should sort us out. What I'm going to do, seeing as I've got a new sensor, is I'm going to take this one out. They're dead easy to do. You can test them, but I don't know if you can just see underneath there, that's where the multi-clip is, and it just runs down through that grommet there and into the wheel well. You can test these sensors, which I did in the other ABS video I did on this car. I'll put a link in the description below so you can have a look at that if you want to test them, because it's easy enough. You can just test them from up at the top here. You can just about see down there where the driver's side one is. So I'm just going to feed this new sensor through now, get it connected up, and we'll go for a test drive again, and hopefully it's fixed it. I'm not too bothered about the old sensor. Like I say, for the sake of £13, I know the car has then had 2 brand new ABS sensors put on the front. So I'm going to go and get it now and get it swapped over. Whenever I fit a new sensor, I like feeding it through with the old one, just so I can get the routing right. There's nothing worse than taking a sensor off and not remembering what went over what. I'm sure I snapped the sensor on the other side when I first did it, routed it wrong, and it snapped when I turned the steering. Well, underneath the bonnet here, same again. I've matched the routing. It's this side that needs to come off, so I just need to go and get a trim tool, because there's a clip there. You can just pick it up on the camera. I need to pop that off, swap it over, and then we can get this sensor plugged in, and hopefully my car won't feel like a death trap when I'm driving it and braking. That's the new ABS sensor installed. I've just put this in the vise and split it off. I'm just going to not put that nut on too tight, that holds the cover on, but it's all thread into place and all thread through as it should. So I'm going to get this cover back on now, get the wheel back on, and give it a test. Fingers crossed it's all fine. So that's the new sensor fitted. I'm going to go for a quick test drive now. I'll be able to tell straight away within 2 minutes of driving this car whether it's fixed it or not. It could have just been that bit of metal that was on the bottom of the sensor because they are magnetic, or it could be a fault that's actually in the sensor that I'm unaware of. For £13, like I said, I'd just rather put the new sensor in and then it's done. But let's get out on the road now, have a test drive and see how it feels. All good so far. It would have done it by now. I'm just going to go back down to the unit now and keep my eye on it, because if there is a bit of like surface rust coming off the hub and it's falling on the sensor, it should still do it to this one. So as far as I'm concerned today, that's pretty much fixed it. Yeah, it's definitely not doing it. We'll see in a minute when I brake. There's nothing behind me. Light braking, 100% used to do it then. As soon as you got under 30 miles an hour with a bit of light braking, that ABS pump, you could hear it kicking in and you'd feel it through the pedal. Well, I'm chuffed with that as a quick fix. Like I say, if you haven't got the equipment to test the sensor with like a diagnostic machine, you can test it with a multimeter by checking it. The problem with that is if it's an intermittent issue like that was, because the sensor seemed to be working, you probably get a good reading on it. It was only when I looked at the data and I could see what monitor the speeds. There's also like a line graph you can do as well, which will show the drop a little bit more, but I couldn't seem to get it working on all four of the sensors. It would only show one at a time, so you had nothing to really compare it to. But it's a quick fix that. Like I say, this car was becoming undrivable because of that. There was no ABS light on. It wasn't even coming on when the pump was kicking in. I think the system thought everything was working fine. I took the old sensor out. There was a bit on the bottom, maybe blocking the signal every now and again, but I can't see that being an issue. I do think it was definitely the sensor, but time will tell with this one. If this gets a bit of, because they must get like a build-up of metal file, like, I don't know what to call it, like little bits of metal on the bottom anyway with them being magnetic. But it's fixed. I'm happy with that. Hopefully you guys don't come across any issues like this, but if you do, you know what you need to do. It's probably going to be one of the sensors. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Just another quick one on the Berlingo. They do need maintaining, cars do, but like I say, a £13 quick fix for me there. I don't know what you would have paid at a garage for diagnostics, £60 an hour or something, and then to put the sensor in and stuff. I bet it would have been over £100 to fix that at a garage. If you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to pay. That's why you pay them. That's why you pay for the privilege of it. But luckily I can do it myself, and hopefully I can give you guys some advice on doing it as well. As always, thanks for watching. Anyone who's subscribed, thank you as always. Anyone who's not subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.